Anyway, so Renee Moxley Good was in the back with Twinkle Toes. And he's talking about his match later on tonight with good old Kyle Felcher. And the thing about old Harpo there, old Kenny, is whether the match is important or not, he's going to have the same tone, the phone sex voice that he blathers on in, and he's going to talk about how my win-loss record hasn't been very good lately, and I hope to do well, or whatever the he's saying. But after he gets even with the Don Fallis family, he's going to go after the World Heavyweight title, which naturally brings MJF in because he's obviously been standing 15 feet away waiting for his name to be mentioned. Because how else could he get there that quick? And he puts Twinkle Toes over and shakes his hand and then leans in and whispers, 13 days, bitch, in Kenny's ear and then says, good luck, and walks off. And Kenny's like, well, we'll see about that 13 days. Now, I wouldn't have known again what the flying fuck they were talking about, except that, again, somebody on Twitter said, well, in 13 days, MJF will have been champion longer than Kenny was. So I guess that's the bone of contention there. So it'll be interesting if they do that match. I said do to hear. I mean, some people are still going to cheer for fucking Harpo because some people, as we've established, like that kind of thing. But the people who like MJF are obviously not only bigger wrestling fans, but more intelligent. And I can't wait to hear in what various ways they roast old Twink out of the fucking building in that match.
Hey, let me ask you about that match, MJF versus Omega. Is that a match that you would rather use to pop a number potentially on TV, or do you think it should be a pay-per-view main event?
Well, that's hard.
If the pay-per-views are going to probably do within the same range of 30,000 buys one way or another.
Well, that's the thing is normally you would think I'm not putting that on a pay-per-view main event, except their pay-per-view audience specifically likes that kind of thing. So I might consider putting it on pay-per-view in AEW just because if anybody anywhere is going to buy anything that Kenny does, it's going to be the AEW fans. But having said that, the only thing I think they got to watch out for is they can't risk MJF looking like an idiot stooging for all of that fucking video game bullshit. Whether it's going to be the flipping dive over the top, is MJF going to have to catch this goof all by himself and risk injury? Or are they going to do some other bullshit where people get dropped on their heads? The antithesis of an MJF match is a Kenny Olivier match. So they better go with the champion calling this fucking thing, or it's not only going to be the shits and make no sense, but there's an element of risk of injury to their golden goose from having this fucking human artichoke land on him.
No, if Kenny doesn't insist on just doing everything his way, it could actually probably be the best Kenny Omega singles match we've seen in a very long time.
Possibly ever. Of course, that's a low bar again, but nevertheless.
But again, to my earlier question, whether it's Omega or someone else, what about the idea that the world champion's in this position where, do you think it's good or bad, where there's multiple people either currently having issues with him or wanting a title shot, so that's not an issue?
It's great that there is multiple people having an issue with the world champion. That's what Dusty did. That's what Eddie Graham did. That's what Bill Watts did. But you don't go from none to 12 in 3 weeks. There should have been a staggering ascending level of all of these interactions, that everybody wants the fucking guy that's the champion. And MJF can actually, he could be a little bit harder heel-edged than he is being right now, just because he's in a position where everybody from both sides of the fence is out to get him. So he would have to take care of himself a little bit more than trust other people, but he's going the whole I'm your scumbag type of route. Anyway, 13 days, bitch.
Well, we will see what happens in 13 days. But to your point about Omega's talking and his voice and the way he does his promos, perhaps there would be a way to listen to something different while he's talking. So you don't actually hear his voice. You hear something a little rougher, a little gruffer, a little tougher, like a Damian Priest kind of voice coming out of Omega's mouth. I don't know how you would sync all this up, but if there was a way, you could listen to it on your Raycon earbuds.
How about if we could have Kenny Olivier lip sync the words and, like in The Exorcist, have Mercedes McCambridge do the voice? What do you think about that?
Or maybe that with your Raycon earbuds.
You know, the thing of it is, Brian, you can take these Raycon everyday wireless earbuds and stick them in your ears, and it will sound better than Kenny Olivier, even if you don't turn them on. Because they're good earplugs. If there's just somebody droning on, and you don't want to listen to them, shut up. I know there's a line there. Just stick the Raycon earbuds in your ears. You don't even have to turn them on. You'll get perfect silence because they're not only quality earplugs, but also they can deliver fine quality, high quality audio because they've got great battery life and thoughtful features, a perfect in-ear fit. None of that nattering of Kenny's whiny, nasally voice can permeate around the vacuum seal that these earbuds make so that all you hear is the music, the symphonic sounds of Beethoven and Tchaikovsky and Chapyakov and all the Russian composers.
You will be as aware of your surroundings as you choose to be.
Well, that's because they got the awareness mode. You just hit the button and boom, and you're aware of things like that. It raises your consciousness. And also, like I said, the vacuum seal in-ear fit, you know, you might ought to go ahead and wear these to bed because then the earwigs couldn't crawl into your ears while you're asleep and defenseless. I wouldn't even, if I'd have known about the everyday earbuds when I did, I wouldn't even have had my custom ear snoods made to keep bugs from crawling into my head late at night. I could have used the Raycons. But you can listen to your rock and roll. You can listen to your country and western.
Is that right, Grandpa?
That's right. You can listen to your podcasts and your stories. You can listen to the guiding light as the world turns, as the stomach turns, as your stomach churns. You can listen to anything you want to. You can be aware or you can be oblivious. It's all at the touch of a button. You can go high, you can go low. You hit the right button, these things will levitate you right over the goddamn roof. I'll tell you what. And did you know, Brian, that Raycon is having a big anniversary? They're turning 6 years old. And that's almost as old as Beaver Cleaver was when he began starring in his own television program.
Well, how old was he season 1?
He was about 7 years old.
Almost as old, okay.
Almost, see? But right now, I'm telling you, you don't have to wait for another year because Raycon, they're not minors anymore. They've reached the age of maturity, and they've expanded their entire business with the introduction of Raycon Home and Raycon Power Tech. See, Raycon builds these homes, and then the Power Tech comes in and puts power technology in them.
I don't think that's how any of that works, but they're wonderful earbuds.
And they're a wonderful company that makes these earbuds. And to thank everyone who has shown them support in the past 6 years. Because after all, what would they be without their supporters? They'd be droopy, dangly, and drippy. Raycon is offering 20% off everything on their site with select products up to 40% off. Now, we have done this math in the past. And we have analyzed this. And we have figured out that if you take 20% off everything on the site, but then you take 40% off of some of the select products.
We have not figured this out, no.
Well, no, I did. Then if you average all that out and you get one from column A and one from column B and a couple of other items, your average is going to be 36.7% off on everything. So right now, celebrate the biggest sale of the year, the 6th anniversary of Raycon. Go
Happy
right
birthday.
Now. Happy anniversary. They weren't really born as much as they were formed. They were inaugurated. They were incorporated. They weren't just hatched. There was no sperm involved, Brian.
So if you were going to post, if you were just a major fan of Raycon and you were going to post something on social media, you would say happy anniversary, Raycon?
Happy anniversary.
Not happy birthday, Raycon?
Well, no, because it says right here on the copy they sent us, Raycon is celebrating their anniversary. Doesn't say a goddamn thing about birthdays.
I take back the happy birthday.
Raycon's anniversary right here. It's on the copy.
Well, happy anniversary, Ray.
Well, and you don't just got to call him Ray. But right now, you can call him on the website, buyraycon.com. That's BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE, and use the code birthday. The code is birthday.
The code is birthday, for the record. I don't know what that dramatic pause was there.
I realized that you had some semblance of a point. But if you comb your hair right, nobody will notice it. So anyway, for their anniversary, go to buyraycon.com/JCE and use the code birthday. And don't ask me why the code isn't anniversary. Probably because Brian Last is involved.
Wait until that big Christmas sale with the promo code Independence Day.
Yeah, or Thanksgiving. Festivus. Ladies and gentlemen, anyway, buyraycon.com/JCE. Use the code birthday. You're going to get 20% off to 40% off, depending on whatever it is. Code birthday for the anniversary at buyraycon.com/JCE.
That's right, /JCE. Fine earbuds, but we're slashing through Dynamite with this review, and there's still the big segments to come.